This is my wife. We love playing games together, but I think like all couples, we have one major problem. We can never find a game that we both absolutely love. She usually leads to a heated debate. Of course, that leads to me getting decked and laid out on the floor. But I had enough of this. No more nights on the couch. Today, I'm going to save gaming couples everywhere. But first, welcome to the channel where I make new games every single month. It's a tiny community of only 14,000 subscribers, so if you're interested, subscribe and join the Discord so you can help me make my next game. Alright, so first, I've got to find out what makes a game so much fun for my wife and I. I think the best way to do this is look at the games that we've enjoyed the most. Our favorite games are easily Project Zomboid, Terraria, Sons of the Forest, and most recently, Ark Survival Evolved. Okay, so we love survival, but it also has to be very cooperative. The thing is, my wife hates playing games where I just run off and do my own thing the whole time. It's almost like she wants to help or something. I don't know. So with that, I hatched a plan. What's the one thing better than decking out your survival character with the greatest armor, weapons, and bases? Decking out 2 survival characters. And what's better than that? 3. And better than that? Nope, not 4. Infinite survival characters. The idea I came up with was a survival game with full control over armor, tools, and buildings, just like all of our favorite survival games out there. But in my game, it doesn't limit you to only one survivor. Now, maybe you're thinking, but Hayden, I like manually controlling one guy at a time. Well, I knew there'd be at least one of you out there. So don't worry, my dream game also has a toggleable player-controlled state that will feel like any other top-down survival game. This control over the gameplay style would allow my wife and I to play and advance together. There's no way I'll just run off doing my own thing because she could just take control of my guy and bring him right back to the base, and vice versa. So I began by setting up the camera movement in this top-down isometric view. There's probably nothing that can make a game instantly look good as well as isometric perspective. Like many other games out there, I created an entity system. This allows me to create one entity script that defines an interactable object in the world. So now Bean glows. Nice. Using Unity's AI navigation package, I set up some basic movement and obstacle avoidance really easily. And now I can move on to the more fun parts. With all these characters to control, we have a problem. If all they do is stand there while you're using one of them, it's just going to get annoying. No one wants to have to manage 20 characters that can't do anything on their own. But this is my dream game, so it's time to introduce you to another one of my favorite games of all time, Age of Empires. The community for this game is not as big, so if you haven't heard of it before, it's a really fast-paced, real-time strategy game. I like this one over other RTSs like Civilization because you have complete control over what every little villager is doing, and you can assign them to different resources. I had to be able to do this in my game as well, so all the resources are defined as collectibles, and I created logic so that you can right-click a collectible, and the bean will travel to the resource, collect, and then drop it off in the shared player inventory. Now, Bean is kind of dumb, and he's really good at just smashing into other beans. So, to fix this, I signed him up for a Brilliant account. Oh, you don't know what Brilliant is? Well, Brilliant is what you learn by doing with thousands of interactive lessons in math, data analysis, programming, and AI. Each Brilliant lesson is filled with hands-on problem solving, and this means that you actually play and interact with the concepts. This learning method has been proven to be 6 times more effective than sitting through a lecture video. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but lectures are taught by professors with degrees. But you don't have to worry because Brilliant is crafted by an award-winning team of teachers, researchers, and professionals from MIT, Caltech, Duke, Microsoft, Google, and more. With Brilliant, you won't simply memorize topic after topic. You will build your critical thinking skills through problem solving. And this means you'll become a better thinker. I use Brilliant right from my phone. It's so easy to just take a few minutes break throughout the day and get in a lesson or two. It's the best way to replace that nasty habit of doom scrolling. If you're looking to get into coding, I cannot recommend the Thinking in Code course enough. And with Brilliant's growing number of programming courses, you'll quickly have a great foundation with real-world applications. To try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/Hayden Johnson or scan the QR code on the screen. Or you can click the link in the description, and you'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. Huge thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring, and now back to the video. Okay, so actually though, Bean is dumb and still smashing into other beans. So to fix this, I created an interaction point system. And this gives me total control over where I want them to target. And when a point is occupied, they can now intuitively spread themselves around the resource. And the same goes for the drop-off point or any other interactable. With these systems in place, it only took me about 15 minutes to add grass, sticks, and rocks into the world. Now just for testing, I'd already added rocks, sticks, wood, and fiber resources. So I had enough to start working on the crafting system. I gave every item the capability of having a recipe. So all you have to do is add whatever components are required to craft it, and then whatever the recipe yield is. Then I created a crafting menu script that can be added to anything, so there can be multiple different crafting stations, like a workbench, tailor, blacksmith, and yeah, I know, real original. So using this modular system, I was able to add a fiber armor set and some basic tools to the game in just a couple minutes. And you might recognize the item icons from somewhere else. It's temporary, okay? I'll give them back, I promise. So now, Bean is not naked. Now, I also wanted to add building to the game. In my game, the building is based on a 1x1 grid. I added a building system that shows you where you can build and where it hits something like resources or other buildings. And this unintentionally created some really satisfying bugs. Also, almost had me changing the entire project into a drawing game. But I got it working, and now the Bean walks over there and a building. Now, this is the point in the project where I was doing some testing of how it felt so far. I realized I really had to add that player-controlled state. So with Bean selected, I made the space key switch him into the player-controlled state. You can still just deselect him to swap back, but in this state, the camera locks in, AWS&D will move him, and the mouse controls his look rotation. Now it's finally time to add the first enemy to the game. Except this enemy is technically the good guy in the game. It's called a native, and using the same items, it can have armor and tools that it uses to kill your beans. For now, the game is using what I call a soft wave system. Eventually, this may not even be in the game, but I really needed a game loop for testing and for releasing to all of you so I can get your opinions that I love so much. So to do this, I created what's called a caravan. These spawn on an interval somewhere on the outer edge of the world. And the caravan spawns a growing number of natives inside. The caravan also upgrades in level, which means the natives will get better armor and tools over time. Now this is where the soft part of the wave system factors in. Instead of just sending the caravan right at your base, I made them just randomly choose a spot around the map. They may turn straight into your base or take years. I don't know, it's technically possible. And this actually worked so well because it feels really organic when a group of natives suddenly stumbles across one of your little beans. And you never know where they're going to come from. To fight back, I added a metal resource into the game, and of course that means that there's now metal armor, shields, and tools. I did some more playtesting and found this hilarious bug where the sword just floats like 10 feet away from the bean. I also realized that the game was so hard and I had to do so much balancing to make it more enjoyable to play. This is also when I got sick of the Bean. Bean is cool for like a day, and then he's just there reminding you that you suck at Blender. So I ran back into Blockbench and started working on the native and armor models. And this is also where you get a bit more lore, because the natives are all white and your beans, they're just natives covered in a blue substance with glowing eyes. Then I rigged the models in Unity so I could add some procedural animations to the legs because I hate animating 100 walking angles. And that went about as well as you'd expect.
Hey, dancing! It is a primal art form used in ancient times to express yourself with the body.
Anyways, this is where I did a little off-screen mining, and this is how the game looks now. Yeah, by that I mean I forgot to record. Like a lot of stuff, like so much. Like I don't know why you're watching this right now. I'm kind of really bad at this. So to recap, new ground, new chop, mine, pickup animations, mini map, a level up system based on XP from gathering and killing, assimilate or consume the natives, and consuming gives you big XP, but assimilating gives you a new team member. Oh, new UI to see your level bar and base health and base damage. Yep. And now the Discord was really starting to get annoyed that I hadn't posted in a while, so to finish up the first version of the game, I built models for all of the environment. And with that, I give you the pre-alpha of the pre-alpha version of Assimilation. Now, I'm working on this game in my free time, and I do have a full-time job, a new 3-month-old baby, and sometimes I do pretend that I have a life outside of game development, so I could really use your support. This game is currently completely free on itch.io. But if you could please consider donating a few dollars, or even better, becoming a channel member for early access to new games and videos, it would really mean a lot. I believe this game has infinite potential. It could easily become the massive survival experience that I envisioned in the beginning, or it could even become a competitive PvP strategy game where you fight each other for complete map control. So this is where I need you. Try it, break it, laugh at it, cry over it, give me all your money. I don't care. But let me know what you want me to add. The game is very updatable from here, so if there's enough support, I can easily start like weekly content drops. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoy the game, and I'll see you later.